Hello everyone, down the mic, and welcome to lesson number 2. Today we will be talking about variables. Variables, data types and operators are three very important features that you need to understand in order to make Java applications. We will talk about them today and in the coming lessons. So let's start up. Open up your Eclipse program. The first thing that you will see is this window here, and you can choose the file that you stored your projects last time and press launch, the launch button. So then the first thing that you will see is the welcome screen, which you can close. After the welcome screen, you should see the project that we did last time, the Hello World project. And here it is, lesson 1, Hello World. Now we can press run to see if it runs, and it works. Hello guys and ladies, you are my little sister. Here is written, so it works. Now we will make a new Java project for today. We will name it lesson 2. And remember, always the second word starts with a capital letter. So press finish, then right click, new package, finish, and then right click, new class, and we will name it main with capital M, and make sure that you will press this button here, public static void main. So we have our new project ready to go. Do you remember this one? This is a comment. We will talk about comments later. So today we will talk about variables. What is a variable? It is a place in the memory. Think it like a box, if you want, that you can store something in it. In Java, we assign the type of information that we want to put into the boxes. For example, as a type, we will take the whole numbers. What's a whole number? A -2, a -1, 0, 5, 10, 20, etc. So the whole numbers in Java are called integers. So I will write it as a comment, integers. And how do we write an integer? We write an integer like that, with int. So after that, how do we create a variable? We should define the data type, thus we have done it, integer, and then we should name it. We should put a name into that box. So our variable, we will name it, for example, x, and don't forget the semicolon. So now what do we have here? We have a variable with a name of x and type of integer. We can give now, we can assign now a value to that variable. How can we do that? We write the name of the variable, the assign symbol, and then we can say like 5. What did we do now? We created a variable, we gave it a name x, and we gave it a value of 5. So really important. Don't be misled. This is not an equal symbol. In Java, the symbol means assigned. It is an assignment. So this is really important to carry it on with you for your whole Java journey. So what we do right on the right side is being assigned to the left side. So now to this variable x, we assign the number 5. If we wrote 10, for example, we would assign the number 10. So how can we see it? How can we see if the variable is good? We can write the system out print line from the last lesson, and now inside the brackets we can write the x, the name of the variable. Then we will save and press run. And you can see here the number 10. So it works because the variable has the number 10. Why do we need variables at all? Because the computer needs to store information like we did here. We stored the number 10 to x. So for example, we might want to make a program later that we will store people's weight in it. For example, 60 pounds or 50 kilos or so. What do we need? We need these boxes, these variables, so that we can store these numbers. To create variables, we need to first define the data type, like we said, and I will tell you later the other data types that there are, because Java recognizes two sort of types: the primitive types and the objects. We will start with the primitive types here. If you want to know all the values that primitive types can get, click the link below at the description of the video. So we will start with the most important primitive type, and this type, you already know this type. This is the integer. An integer is a whole number, like we said, -2, -5, 0, 10, 30, 40. So then we write the data type and then a name, and then we assign a value, or we could also write it like that: int integer y, for example, assigned the number 8, and then the semicolon. What do we have here? We did write these two lines in one line. So next we could also make another one, another variable, set, and what will we assign here? We will assign here an addition, so x plus y, and if we write one more time a system out print line and put the variable z here, try to guess what will we get. The z is the variable x and the variable y. So 10 plus 8, 18 is my guess. 18, this is the right one. So now we can talk about the compiler. What is a compiler and what can a compiler do? Think the compiler like the program itself. Like the program has a soul and it is a human. What he does is reading the code you write line by line. And you can understand this you can understand it with this example. For example, it starts here. It is an empty line, then an empty line because the compiler ignores the comments. If it is a comment, for the compiler it is an empty line. So further, an empty line up here, it's an integer x. So the compiler reads here, I see a box with the name of x, and it should contain a number, an integer, a whole number. And then he goes further, empty, and then he goes further, x is assigned the value of 10. So the compiler knows that inside of this box there is a value, and this value is 10. Then he goes weiter, empty, then he goes weiter, and he sees another box, another variable with a name of y, and it is also assigned the value of 8. So then it goes further, he sees another variable of the name z, and then he sees an addition. The addition is 10 plus 8 is 18. So the compiler sees the result, the 18. But what if we cut this here and paste it here? Of course it works, because the compiler has read until here that there is a variable with a value of 10. But if we assign it here, you see a problem, because the compiler says, yeah, I see this variable, I see that you created something, but I don't see any value, because the compiler has read until here, and the value is one line further. The same is if we put it here. The compiler says, hey, I don't see any variable x. Are you kidding me? No. If we put it here, he sees everything, because he reads until the line 17, for example. And until line 17, the x is defined and also assigned a value. So, about comments. If you want to write a comment of one line, you just type 2 times the slash and write whatever you want, whatever I want. The compiler ignores it. If you want to write multiple lines, then you press slash star and enter, and then you write, I will now write many lines of code the compiler can't read. So if the compiler starts now, he will come here and he will say empty, 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 until he reaches this point, and here he can read something. He can read that there is a variable with the name x, and so on. So that's all about comments. In Java, you can do some there are some operators, so that you can do some calculations, like addition, like abstraction, like multiplication, like division, like assignment that we already saw. So let's see about, and let's talk about the simple operators. So there is addition, this is plus, then is abstraction, this is minus, multiplication, this is the star, then division here, the slash, then assignment, that is this here, and really important, guys, the remainder operator, and this is this symbol, the percent symbol, and it doesn't mean percent in Java. It returns the result of what remains after dividing the first and the second number, and we will see an example right away. So we can delete everything. We will create a variable x, and then we will assign a value of 9, for example, and then we will assign one more y with a value of 3, and then one more z, and we will say x, remainder operator y. Can you guess the result? Can you do it? So here we have 9 divided by 3. What does remain? I think 0. What do you think? Let's see about it. 0. But if that was a 4, then you can divide 9 with 4. What does remain? 1. Or you can do that. You can make some experiments. Or with 7, even and odd numbers. You can always make some experiments. So this is the remainder operator. The assignment, we already saw the assignment. We see the assignment here. We assign a value from the right side to the left side. The division, we can make it a division here. So we will make a simple division. 8 divided by 4, 2. But if we divide 8 with 3, what will we take? Let's see, we will take 2. Is it false? No, it isn't false, but caution here. What did we say before? That integers are whole numbers. This means that if we do some calculations with integers, we will get always, the result will always be a whole number. And that's why we get now the number 2. So we have abstraction, 8 minus 3, and we also have addition, 8 plus 3, 11. So that's it. It's really easy. And now we will see something else. We will make another variable name f, for example, and we will give it a value of 2. And here we will make this. Oh, I forgot something. What did I forget? You can see it here. The Eclipse program says me that, hey, you have done something wrong. There is an error here. Syntax error. It says insert a semicolon. Yes, because we already said that don't forget the semicolon. So what will we get now? We have 8 plus 3 multiplied by 2. Let's see. I'm curious. 14. Why? Because it did 2 times 3, 6. Then plus 8, 14. But if we do that, and here comes to the play the parentheses, we tell the compiler, you know what? We have the following, we want the following calculation. 8 plus 3, 11, 2 times this number, 2 times 11. Voila, 22. And this is how we use the calculations. And you can see, for example, another one here. What do you see here? It is 2 times 11, 22. And now the whole thing 2 times. And if we do that, we also take the 44. Why? It's simple. Because we do this calculation, then we do this calculation, and then we do this calculation. Think about it. It's simple. So other primitive data types that there are here, we will write them also in comments. That would be the double. This is the decimal numbers, like for example 2.2 or 4.5, etc. The Boolean means it's always true, either true or false. Then we have byte. Byte is a whole number a whole number of 8 bits. Then we have sort. Sort is also a whole number, but 16 bit. Then we have our favorite integer that is also a whole number of 32 bit. And then we have long data type, which is also a whole number of 64 bit. Then you can ask me, okay, Theo, why do we usually use the integer, or how can I choose between so many data types? When you want to work with decimal numbers, you should always use the double. The boolean, this one we will see later. We will use it with expressions and with other things, with loops. You will learn all about them, but boolean is really important, this true or false. Now between byte, sort, integer and long, it depends. It depends on how long, how big are your numbers, because these calculations, these numbers take some bytes, some bit from the memory, and you really want a light program, not a heavy program. And if you also play games, you will understand what I do mean. So further, we also have the float. The float is also a decimal number with a 32 bit, and here we can add that the double is also a decimal number. We can take it also down here, but with a 64 bit, and this should be a capital. So, and last but not least, char, which is a single symbol, and we can see now the char. So or how can we define them? Like integer? Yes, exactly like integer. For example, we do write integer my variable equals 5, semicolon. Then you can also write double my double value, and we will assign a value of 5.5. And then we could also assign a char named karaoke equals, and here we will use the quotes, but the single quotes. This is really important for this special character. So, and we will use the quotes, and we will say, for example, get semicolon. So karaoke equals is been assigned the value of get. So if we write and so we see here that Eclipse gives us an error. What is that really? Char cannot be resolved to type. Yes, because you need to do it so. You need a small letter. So this means that if we do now system out print line, and now we write here karaoke, we should get K. That's right. And I will also show you a small trick with char, that you can also call some unique code like some symbols. And you should go to a page, you can take the link from the description below, this page, this Unicode table.com, and you need, for example, one symbol for here. I will take one like that. I will see it one more time. I think that's the one. Now I will save it and run it, and you can see here I get the symbol that I want. And how did I write it? You write the single quotes, the backslash, then U, and then the code, the 00A, and then you can go 0, 1, 2, 3 until F, and choose the symbol that you want, and you will get the symbol here. So these are also the primitive types. I see that we did some pretty good time today, and I will stop the video here so that this video won't get too long, so that you won't get tired or too tired. If you liked this video, give a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. This is really important for me, guys. And if you want also to buy me a coffee, you can find a link in the description. I know it sounds weird, but that's how people say donation in nowadays. So thank you very much for watching, and at the next lesson we will talk more about the operators and the whole things. And believe me, what comes in the coming lessons is really good, and you will enjoy it, believe me. So thanks again, guys, and bye.